We did the x-rays. Do you want to start with maybe just kind of talking about a little bit about like what's going on? Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure.
I know you're here for like to find out results and all that stuff, and we'll get to it. But I'd really appreciate it if we could just kind of do this real quick and just give a quick update, like talk about some of your condition that you have, and then and then we can kind of I'll just jump into going over everything. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, just mainly just had a lot of pain in my left shoulder for probably about the last 20 years, especially between the shoulder blades. So just been always very tight. Seems like I always have a lot of like knots and muscle tension in that area. And then my lower back, left hip area has always tended to be really tight, locked up. I've been to chiropractors, for a while, but sometimes it just doesn't really seem to, get it to what I would think it could be, I guess, or it's deep enough.
Right. So you're already kind of seeing a chiropractor, or I think you said monthly.
Yeah.
And then just kind of looking for like a different perspective, which brings you in today, which happens, So we went over range of motion, did all the things, kind of just seeing how everything moves, the neck, the lower back. And we did find some specific things, but then we sent you out for some x-rays. So we got some x-rays we're going to go over in a little bit too. And kind of doing the mobility work or doing the x-rays, they did find a couple things, and we'll go over that a little more. But it seemed like most range of motions that we did last time kind of caused pain. Now, if you stand up for a second, we'll kind of just look and see. I'm just looking at your posture. So ideally, your posture is kind of supposed to be like this, right? So if you look down at your thumbs, take a look. Your thumbs are actually pointing kind of across here. So thumbs are basically a window to what the shoulders are doing. So if your thumbs are like this, your shoulders are rotated in and kind of going across. Now, if your thumbs are back, see how I kind of just watch my shoulders? It just like opens up my shoulders, right? Yep. And I don't have to think about doing this whole thing, like, sticking my chest out, but it's just kind of about the shoulders. And that kind of really takes pressure off of all of the trap and all this up in here. So, if you can kind of start working to think about it and creating that awareness, I think that would be a good step for you in the right direction too, okay? So anytime we have a little bit of anterior head carriage where your head's like forward in front of your body, when we're staring at a computer, everything we do is in front of us, it creates a lot of tension, a lot of pressure up into those muscles too. If those muscles are really tight and pulling, it's going to pull things out of alignment a lot more easily. So that's kind of how all that posture stuff fits into chiropractic, is because then you're going to be less apt to getting those joints out of alignment if you're not getting that pull and tug as much. Because then when you go to turn your head and you got that pull tug, it's going to pull a lot harder on those joints. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, yeah, come on over. I'm just going to have you take a seat real quick just to kind of confirm some of the things we already did. Go ahead facing that window. Up. All right. So right in here, tender.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of all the way over.
Yeah.
Okay. If I push here, does it shoot?
No.
No. It's just tender.
Just tender.
Okay. And I'm not being gentle, am I?
No.
No. There too?
Yeah.
Okay. No shooting still?
No.
Okay. All right. So the way the neck fits into the shoulder too is sometimes in the neck we get, those joints get out of whack, there's inflammation, we get degeneration, and from that we'll get like maybe some clicking in the neck with turning our head, maybe we'll get some pain with turning or limited range of motion. And so what we're trying to do is restore that motion, get rid of the inflammation, and just let the joints move a lot better than what they have been. Okay?
Yep.
Cool. Good. Great. Let's take a walk down the hall and we'll take a look at those images. Great. So close that door up for me, please. All right. So a couple things here. So when we're looking at x-rays, we're looking for the ABCs. So we're looking for the alignment, which is like your gross alignment, which means like, is there a curvature in the neck? If not, where is there an issue? The next would be front to back. So front to back, is your head tilting one way? Do you have a list? Is your head off to the side? Sometimes these things kind of accumulate over time. Sometimes it's like maybe there was an auto accident, and you rolled the car. So these are some ways of kind of unveiling some of those things in your health history. This is your open mouth view where they kind of shot right through. And that kind of that shows me the alignment of the top two bones in the neck. So I'll compare the spacing here versus the spacing here and here. And that kind of just shows me a little more of which way that atlas is sitting, if it's gone up, if it's gone down, if it's gone over. So that helps with kind of determining how I'm going to adjust you to. So here in your neck, what we're specifically concerned with is these little joints here. You see that?
Yeah.
See how pointed those are? So when they get that pointed, that's something called facet arthrosis. What that means is it's a degenerative condition. When you have inflammation that kind of sits in there over time, is it creates a degenerative type of issue. And so that's what that is, and that's in your lower neck, so C4, C5, C6, right around those areas. And then here's on the report what we have is basically confirmation from the radiologist, kind of saying similar things. Osteophyte, all that means is a bone spur. You do get bone spurs in the neck, here and there, but if the bone spur is in a place that's not hitting the nerve, doesn't really matter too much. And I don't think your bone spurs are really hitting those nerves. See right here, you got it on the front. You see that little lip right there? Mm-hmm. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, C3, C4. Your disc is a little bit narrowed through there. Okay, you see this disc and how it kind of gets nice and big. It's almost twice the width. So it's actually, you're supposed to be this big throughout your neck, but something happened up top here at some point where you kind of had that degenerative thing happen. So here, this one's even a little bit smaller, but then it gets wider again, and it's nice and wide down there. So typically most people, they have degeneration down here. Yours is right here. And I think that's because your curvature in your spine is a little bit reverse up here, and then down here it gets normal. So with the head down like this is what I would see more of this of, is you're constantly looking down at something. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Just for years and years and years. I mean, that's a 20-year process to get to that. Yeah. Okay. Make sense?
Yep.
So what I want to do is I want to work with you to reverse this, try to get a curvature back in up top, or at least straighten it out so it's not going the wrong way, and then get it mobilized so we get these joints happier again. Because in your lower neck, the joints aren't very happy, and then in the top part of the neck, the disc isn't very happy. Okay? I know it's a lot of information kind of thrown at you. Has your chiropractor ever kind of gone over these with you before?
Briefly, yeah.
Briefly?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's your neck, and then let's take a look at your lower back now. All right. Just taking a minute to load. Any questions so far?
No.
No. Having an issue all day, of course we do now.
When the camera's on, right?
Yeah, I know. Figures. So what we'll do after this is we'll do an adjustment. We'll kind of go through all the things. And then I want to get you started with some of that traction today, where you just kind of lay on this certain type of pillow, and it kind of helps open up those joints. Okay. Have you ever had cupping?
I know what it is. I've never had it.
Okay. I think that'd be beneficial for your shoulder too. So what I want to do is get you in. So we'll get you adjusted today, do a little bit of the cupping therapy, and get you in early next week, see how we did today with your adjustment, and then kind of figure out a plan where we can actually work to fix some of this stuff more correctively versus just putting a Band-Aid on it once a month. Band-Aid once a month. Okay. Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we did the lower back. Your curve is, you have a little more of a curvature back here. So you've got kind of that like whole sway back thing. So all the pressure is going to go down into your spine. We're way down here at L5, S1, L4 area. So you see how cloudy it gets right here? Mm-hmm. See how the dense is, it gets a little more dense there. So that's what they call something called facet hypertrophy. So that means that just like in the cervical spine or the neck, where those joints kind of grow more bone, same thing kind of happens down here. And that when we grow more bone, it's usually because of stress. Increased stress can lead to more scar tissue is kind of the way that our bones handle that situation. Okay? Looking at the alignment of the hips, just looking at left to right, that left hip's kind of higher than the other one, which can cause more of that tension on that left side too. And it could create problems kind of going up and around that hip. So we're going to work to kind of correct some of that today too. This is just L5S1 spot shot looking at this joint specifically here, just seeing how much space is between there when that nerve comes out. Okay. Okay? Cool. Let's get you adjusted. All right, so when we start you off, we're going to warm you up a little bit with a little bit of a tapotement massage with the massage guns. You ever heard of tapotement?
I mean, I'm familiar with kind of like the massage.
Yeah, so there's different types of massage. This is called tapotement. It's literally means tapping. So these massage guns, they high frequency taps kind of loosen up the muscles. Feels different with two of them, doesn't it? Yeah, so I didn't know what to do with my other hand, so I figured I'd get another massage gun and do this. And it kind of creates this like wave of tissue between the two. It's just different. I feel like it helps a little more too. So we'll do a little bit of this every time. Kind of loosen you up, get you into the headspace to accept an adjustment. You know, it's hard to clear your head when you fight traffic getting here sometimes. All right. Do you have that other mic? All right, so I'm going to start you with a couple drops with the drop table, okay? All right. So again, this left hip's a little high, so we're going to kind of work to try to correct that a little bit. Cross this one over. There you go. Okay, uncross. All right. I'm going to dig here a little bit. How does that feel?
I mean, it's tender, but it's fine.
Okay. Is it shooting anywhere?
Not shooting, no. It's just very tender.
Okay. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
Deep breaths. Yeah. Good. Yeah, the muscle around here in this glute medius is pretty tight, so just trying to decompress that lower back just a little bit. Good. Scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it where I'm pressing?
It's probably I think it's a 7, probably.
Okay. Good. Couple more breaths. Mm-hmm. Good. All right. We're going to kind of work our way up a little higher into the thoracic region. Okay. So what I'm pushing here, what I'm doing is I'm testing to see if there's any joint play. Sometimes the joints are, when they're really restricted, they kind of push back. And that's where I know where to adjust. See, that already moved, didn't it? Deep breath in, all the way up. Good. Let's have you breathe again, one more time. Mm-hmm. Good. We're getting up to this left shoulder here and kind of start feeling a little bit of that pushback. I'm going to bring your head over to the side. Okay, just let me do it. Good. How's that?
That was good.
Good. Okay. Yeah, right in here too. Muscles are already kind of calming down there. You feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Let's put you on your side facing me. Good. Bend this knee here. Scoot you forward a little bit. Let's bring you forward. There we go. Good. I'm going to cross bottom over top. And then all I'm going to do is kind of rotate you a little bit, okay? Good. Good. Flip. All right, scoot towards me. There you go. You're going to feel like you're going to fall. Everyone does. And the stretch can kind of take your breath away through here a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so a little more roll. Good. Good. Great. Whew. Cool. Just like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to hand under the chin and then hand behind the head.
Okay.
All right. Clench your teeth just a little bit. You're just going to breathe in and out your nose. Good. Do you feel anything there?
Yeah, I think I felt it like right in the lower mid back.
Yeah. A little different, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll build on that. Come on up. We'll build on that. Let's have you take a seat in the chair. So maybe we'll get to doing like the Y strap eventually or some other things that we do. Take a seat.
Is that something that you have to build up to? Or?
It's something that, yeah, I like to see how things go first before we really jump into the Y strap because it's super intense and not for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Let's do some motion. A little restricted right there. Good. We're going to go lower with the neck here on the left. Let go. Good. Just a little bit. And scoot your butt out a little. Good. One more. Let go. Good. And that was that one up top. Great. It's a good start. All right, so we're going to take a walk. All right. Come on in. So, can you... Let's do this. All right. Is it cool if we tape this part too?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're gonna do some cupping on the upper back, and the upper back is probably the best spot for doing cupping. I've found it's because the muscles aren't as deep; they're more superficial, and so it allows us to actually pull on those muscles a bit more effectively.
What's the philosophy behind it? Is it pulling blood to it? Or?
Yeah, we're creating circulation by pulling blood to it. Essentially, we're pulling the tissue up off of the fascia, and we're trying to create some separation. So we're creating a little more blood flow and increasing the lymphatic drainage too. So it's a really great technique for musculoskeletal conditions like in the upper back, especially. They use it sometimes on like post-cancer people when they're treating them to help with blood flow. Maybe they have issues in their arms and shoulders, but for our purposes, I mean, we just focus on, where does it hurt, where's everything tight, and then we kind of place the cups there.
Really, you see them on a lot of the NBA players.
Yeah, it's pretty easy tech. A lot of people will do this stuff at home. It's not really hard to do, but swimming obviously made it pretty popular to start. A little pinchy?
Yeah, a little pinchy.
Yeah, that's normal. Have you had stim before?
They like the electronic pulsing?
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have a pacemaker, right?
No.
Okay. So what I want to do is do this on your hip while you're laying there. So we're going to kind of hit the left hip and right hip a little bit. I'm going to crank it up. I don't want it to hurt. I want you to be able to relax. So tell me when that top range is, when to stop. Good there? Or keep going?
Oh, keep going. And then keep going. A little more.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to let you relax here.